Hey guys, Katie here, and today I'm going to complete my series of eating healthy on a budget tips 6 through 10. If you didn't see tips 1 through 5, I recommend watching that video first. They really don't go in any particular order. Thank you for stopping by my channel. The channel is all about nutrition and wellness. If you like this topic, check out my other videos, see if you like my content. If you do, please subscribe to my channel. Without further ado, we're going to go through tips 6 through 10 of eating healthy on a budget. So tip number 6 of the 10 tips of eating healthy on a budget is eat more vegetarian meals. I'm not considered a vegetarian. I'm not trying to convert anyone to vegetarian or veganism. What I do eat is sort of like a flexitarian diet. So I eat primarily vegetarian meals. I try to focus my meals on produce and plant-based proteins, but I do not eat a whole lot of meat, but I don't necessarily restrict myself from having meat. Usually when I do, I'll have turkey or chicken. Those are my top ones, and then occasionally I'll have stuff like a burger, and I'm okay with that. I like to have balance, but whatever your philosophy is on food, I totally respect that. Now to get on with the tip, I think that eating more vegetarian meals is going to save you a ton of money because it's like pennies on the dollar for vegetarian protein versus meat protein. So when we think of plant-based proteins, you're thinking anywhere from beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, and even dairy is going to be a vegetarian alternative that's going to be a little bit cheaper than meat. A couple meals out of the week, I recommend you try eating vegetarian, and this will save you overall on your budget for the week. If you eat even more vegetarian meals, you'll probably notice an even more drastic change in your overall budget because it's going to save you quite a bit. I like to have tofu as a good replacement for stuff like chicken, and beans for stuff that would go in like a taco. Black beans I find are really good for that. Hummus is something that I really like too, and it's made from chickpeas. You can make your own hummus. Edamame is also good, and it's very good in salads and different stuff like burrito bowls. I will point out that processed soy products, like if you think of Boca burgers or tofurkey and different stuff like that, tends to be just as expensive as meat, maybe a little bit less expensive than meat, but it's still higher in price. So if you want to go vegetarian in your meals, try to focus on tofu or beans and lentils because those are going to be a lot cheaper. Again, not trying to convert anybody here. If you try this 1 to 3 times per week just to start out with, and then maybe increase it slowly, or just do whatever number works for you. Tell me if you eat a vegetarian or flexitarian diet, and if you do a flexitarian diet, then tell me how many days a week you eat vegetarian. Curious to know. I do about 5 days a week vegetarian, and then 2 days with different meats like chicken included. That's just me. P.S. I just made some sweet and sour tofu that was super good, and it was made with tofu, sauteed peppers, and then some brown rice. If you want that recipe, or if you want me to make a video on it, then let me know. Tip number 7 is to compare prices. So you will be able to see when you go to the store, fresh versus frozen versus canned is going to be largely different in price, and you're just going to have to compare price per ounce a lot of times to see which one is the cheapest. The easiest way is a very simple math equation, taking the total retail price of the product. So say the box of cereal is $2.99, so taking the $2.99 and then dividing it by the ounces. So if the box of cereal is 18 ounces, then you're gonna do $2.99 divided by 18 ounces, 16 cents per ounce. So you know that that product costs that much per ounce, and then to compare it to a different product of the same similar category. If you're doing Raisin Bran, the generic kind, versus Raisin Bran, the name brand, then what you would do is you would take the price of the name brand and do the same thing, and then if one had a higher price and one had a lower price, then you would know which one to purchase based on which one is the cheapest. Same goes for canned and frozen stuff. You would just need to know the full price of the product and then how many ounces is in that product, and then divide the price by the ounces and then get the price per ounce, and then you compare it. And this is really easy to do on your phone. You don't need any kind of crazy calculation. My 8th tip is to get creative. If you've ever watched the show Chopped, I don't watch a lot of TV, I watch a lot of Netflix. One show that I really liked was Chopped, and it basically, the essence of the show is they take a lot of crazy random items and they make a really amazing dish out of them. You basically take everything that's in your kitchen, and say it's the end of the week and you're out of stuff, then you can use all the stuff that you have in your kitchen and come up with a creative way to use those items. I like to do this at the end of the week before I go grocery shopping, just to use up all the food that I can so I can start fresh for the next week. So if, say, you have tuna and tortillas and veggies, make a wrap out of them. You can make tuna salad, or you can make tuna melt, anything like that. You have to get creative, and it depends on what you have available to you. If you have just lettuce and veggies that are chopped up and tuna, maybe you can just make like a tuna salad like that. Anything. So it depends on what you have, but check your freezer, check your fridge, and check your pantry, because I guarantee you have some stuff that you can throw together a dish before you go grocery shopping, and so you're extending that grocery shopping trip a little bit longer. Like, you're extending your time in between when you have to use up your food and when you purchase new food. This is another great tip that I really love. I like getting really creative with things, because you'll make things that you never thought that you would make. Forces you to try new things that you would have never tried before. If you only carry away one of these tips, I definitely recommend this one, just because it's helped me a lot in A, getting creative in the kitchen, and B, using up all my stuff in my kitchen before I go shopping the next time. Also, when you do this, try to use my plate as a guideline. Don't just make a random dish with only carbohydrates or only proteins or only fruit. Make a dish that's very balanced in nature, and then that way you're getting in all the vitamins and minerals and macronutrients that you need for your body. Tip number 9 is to only purchase what you need. We go through a lot of waste every year, and it's estimated that 30 to 40% of the food that is made is wasted. And that's just very, very sad. I really try to only buy what I know that I'm going to use, but sometimes I am even guilty of buying way too much and then throwing away some stuff. Stuff that gets wasted most often is veggies, fruits, and proteins. And so we want to be really mindful when we're purchasing vegetables, fruits, and proteins. These are going to be the most likely to go bad the quickest. This is one reason why meal planning is so important. If we don't plan, then we don't know how much we're going to eat in a week, and then we can end up wasting quite a bit of stuff. In order to not do this, and in order to not waste a lot of food, we kind of have to plan for the week and see what we need. And do we really need 8 different types of fruits and vegetables? Maybe we can balance out what types of foods and produce you get, so you can get some fresh, some canned, and some frozen, so you're not getting all fresh and it ends up going bad halfway through the week. Because if you're like me and you shop basically for yourself and maybe one other person, stuff doesn't get cleared out as quickly as you would think it would, and so it ends up spoiling. So in order to reduce waste, which, hey, reducing waste equals reducing the money that you lose from those foods. Food waste equals money lost. You want to think of it in a sense of money lost, or just not wanting to waste precious food. No matter which way you cut it, it's going to be a positive thing to waste less food. My last tip is include affordable swaps. What I mean by this is, don't let recipes make you rigid about what you use in those recipes. Take a recipe, and if you want to follow it to a T, that's fine. But if you have something that you could use in place of something in a recipe, then make that swap. So if something calls for blueberries and strawberries and granola, and blueberries and raspberries are on sale, then go for blueberries and raspberries. There's no law in the world that says that you have to follow a recipe to a T. Also, if it calls for vanilla yogurt and you find that plain yogurt is cheaper, then buy the plain yogurt and you can add honey and vanilla to it, and then you have vanilla yogurt and you just saved some money on the yogurt that you purchased. Find the swaps that you can and do it when you can, and then this will save you money in the long run. If it's a chicken stir fry and you have tofu in your fridge, use the tofu. It's a very simple concept, but a lot of times people don't always use it, and they end up buying extra things that they really didn't need to buy. Those are tips 6 through 10 of eating healthy on a budget. I hope that you learned a thing or two from these, and if you haven't watched tips 1 through 5, then please check it out. I'll link to it below. And if you liked this video and you use any of these tips, then please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.